Welcome to a new series I'm going to call Canceled Anime Figures. This is a series where we're going to go over different figures from different series and why they were canceled, why they were altered during the production, and whatever else interesting details might come out of these figures. Now, why do anime figures get canceled in the first place, or why do they get changed in the first place? Well, it's very easy to figure out why. Licensing. Whenever a figure is originally designed or licensed out to be produced, they have to go through different design processes during the creation of that figure. Usually a sketch of the figure is done, then a more 3D model of it is made without colors, and then finally a colored model at the end is made. At any state during this, they can decide, I don't like this figure, I'd like it to be remade. Normally this will not happen, but on occasion this does happen. And on occasion, these figures will go quite a long ways before deciding to be canceled outright. Now, some series have tons of canceled anime figures, which we'll get to someday, but some series do not, and that is the case with our first series we're going to cover today, and that is Rent-A-Girlfriend. So Rent-A-Girlfriend has only really been getting figures for about 5 years. It started getting them in 2020, all the way up till now. We're still getting some. There was just a Chizuru figure that just got announced to be pre-ordered a few days ago, so there you go. It's still a very popular franchise, but there are a few figures that have been canceled or altered during their production. Now, the first figure I'm going to mention is a Sumi figure that was announced back in 2021. So far, Sumi has only gotten one full-scale figure. Now, we have gotten some prize figures for Sumi, but we have not gotten any other scale figures other than the one we have gotten so far. But this figure was actually altered during its production, or at least I think it was. So back in 2021, we actually got this image, which was the announcement image that a figure of her was going to be made. Now, I don't think this was the pose they ever intended on going with, but it does make sense that being a standing pose, they really didn't have a plan on what they were going to do with it yet. I feel like this is more of a gauge interest to see if there was any interest for a Sumi figure at all. But putting this figure out means that they may have intended to make a standing figure until a new design was made, which was the one we got here. So let's go to the next one. This one actually is a little bit more interesting because it is a Chizuru figure that we pretty much can confirm had its design changed. So this figure actually comes from B-Box, which is a not relatively big company, but they do make some really good figures. And we have actually got this figure out already, and I will show it to you here in a moment. But an early version of this figure showed us that she was standing in her Yutaka here. Now, in the final product of that figure, we know she is not. And this is the final product that we did end up getting. Now, I like this figure quite a lot. It is one of my favorite Chizuru figures. But she is not standing. She is sitting down here, and it is a much different pose than the one that is in the image here. Now, this is not a fully recognized image. It is just a shadow, so we don't know what this may have looked like originally, but considering that this is a standing up version, this was a design that was made. This is not based on something else. Like the Sumi one is just a Sumi picture. It makes sense that that was just something they threw together to just say, hey, there's a Sumi figure coming. This image does not exist other than this image. So that leads me to think that there was a Chizuru figure that they intended to make with this design, and then they decided, no, we're going to do this Chizuru instead. But that leads me to the biggest figure we're going to talk about today. And actually, at the same time that that Chizuru was announced, we actually got another Chizuru announced. And this one was from Wings Inc., actually. So this last figure was from Wings Inc. Now, this figure has no alternate version. There has never been a figure like this made, and it actually made it pretty far in production, which leads me to a few speculation onto why this didn't get made. But we know it was a 1/7 scale figure. We actually have an image of it right here. It was an animal ears version of it. She's wearing the tank top and everything. I actually really like this figure. I wish it would have been made, but unfortunately the last time we saw it was at Wonder Festival 2021, and we have never seen it since. There has been no update on it. We pretty much can confirm it has been canceled, considering that was almost 3 full years ago. Now, Wings have made quite a few anime figures at this point, but they also are kind of well known, or infamously known, as canceling figures or leaving them in limbo. And that's the case with Chizuru here, but there is also quite a few other figures that have ended up this way. We'll talk about them in other videos. But there is a thing that we should consider here. So recently, a Kaguya figure that has been in limbo for quite a while as well, recently got a new updated prototype for its figure. So, is there a possibility that this figure is still in limbo, not completely canceled yet, and we will be getting this soon? Maybe. I don't actually believe we will see this figure. I think it is completely gone at this point. I think the rent-a-girlfriend market is not what it once was. I think around 2021 was its prime year that it was getting figures, that it was getting attention. And I think by this point, it's pretty much done. We're not going to see any more from this series from like major people. We're going to get a few figures here and there. If a season 4 ever drops, I think we will get a few, but I don't think we're going to get like this figure because I don't see them going out of their way to make it because I don't think they'd make a lot of money. Now, obviously, this is all speculation. I don't know. I don't know the reason for the cancellation because other figures were announced and then moved on through production and has since been released. So right now, this is the only pretty much canceled Rent-a-Girlfriend figure. And that's it. Those are the only 3 figures from Rent-a-Girlfriend that have either been altered during their development or outright canceled, or we think it's been canceled. If you'd like to see me cover other series, let me know down below what series you think I should cover. There are tons from other series. Love is War is a big case that I think we should cover. There's a few other ones that I think would be really interesting, so we'll cover them another time. But let me know what series you would like to see me cover next. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps me out. This is a new type of video that I'm doing. I know it's a little bit shorter, but I think that is more digestible for some of the audience out there. So I hope you did enjoy this, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.